Hi guys, Rita with Spunky Misfit Girl here, and today's project is pretty simple, but hopefully also super useful. We're just gonna make some envelopes, and these are 5 by 3.5 at final size, and we are gonna use papers that are 6 by 8. So these can be cut from your 12 by 12s or even from your 8.5 by 11 or A4 if you're in Europe. And they turn out really beautifully. You know, they look professionally made and they're really, really nice. It's also a good way if you have papers that you're kind of like, I don't know what to do with these. They're weird colors or they're just hard to match up with other things. You can use them up making envelopes. And these are great for Happy Mail. You can stuff them into a journal. They'd be a great, easy thing to make for craft fairs. And that's what I did with these papers. This is from a gold paper pack that isn't as pretty as it looked online when I bought it. But I actually think these envelopes turned out really nicely. So I've actually cut a couple of other things to use for the video. These are from my floral wallpaper paper pack that is in my Etsy shop. And I just picked a couple that I really loved and cut them to 6 by 8. And they are not, this one's not double-sided. I guess the others are. I did print a light background on these. I must have forgotten on this one. And then I also cut up, I have some music paper that is really beautiful that I think will make, they'll be flimsy, they'll have to go into something, into a project, but I think they'll make really nice envelopes. So 6 by 8, not 6 by 6. This won't be a project where you can use your 6 by 6s, unfortunately. You'll need to start with 8.5 by 11 or 12 by 12s. And cut them down to 6 by 8. And up to you, single-sided will work fine. You'll just have a blank inside of your envelope. Okay, and these are pretty simple to make. We're gonna score. First and foremost, let's do this one first. So with the 6-inch side up, you're gonna wanna score at 1/2 inch on each side to make our tabs. And I'm just gonna flip it all the way around and do it here because that's easiest. And then you're gonna turn it to your left and score at 2 3/4. And actually, I'm gonna think about this. We're gonna score at 2 3/4 and we're gonna score at 6 1/4. So that's gonna make this my top. So I think I'm happy with that. I think I'll go with that. So whatever is over here on your right-hand side is gonna be your top when you do this scoring. So 2 3/4 and 6 1/4. And I'm gonna go ahead and score a second one so we can just kind of fold quickly and right away. So this is 1/2 inch. Now this guy's gonna be my top. I like that. So then we're gonna go 2 3/4 and 6 1/4. Okay. This way we can make 2 at a time here. Now we're going to remove all 4 of our corner rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a lot of the time on projects, I would do this at an angle, but I'm not going to do an angle in this one. I'm going to do it straight. So I am going to actually use my cutter where I can. Just going up to that score line there. Just because I'm not that good at doing this straight, and these really do need to be straight to turn out as nicely as you hope for them to be. So I'm kind of going just to the inside of the score line so that I won't continue to have score line there. And then I'm going to cut the horizontals with my scissors. Okay. So I'm just going to go to wherever that outer part of the score line is. So I'm not ending up with score lines still. Trying to make these as square as possible on that inside corner. They're not perfect, but that's okay. Just doing the best I can. Okay, and then I'm gonna fold, this is gonna be my bottom, and I'm gonna fold that up. And this is gonna be my top, and I'm gonna fold that down. And that gives me a nice clean corner for rounding my tab edges. And then I am also going to give my interior top two edges and my exterior top two edges a corner round. And then I'm going to fold these in. And this is the time, if you would like some ink on your project, to go ahead and do that. And I do think that with these papers, I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to do the tops of these tabs because you won't see beyond where it's glued. And then I'm going to do my top here and my top here. And the bottom, just so all the parts that we can see are done, and we can do the back later. And then I'm just going to glue this guy on my bottom on both sides. Skinny little line of glue. Put these guys in, and this guy goes up. And that is an absolutely beautiful envelope from any 6x8 paper, as you like. And I'm trying to keep things simple with these, so I do probably want to decorate. I might just go something very, very simple. Like, I like that. Maybe a little line of lace across there and a word. But we'll do that later. Let's make one more of the base so that we definitely have that down. And then we'll do some decorating. And I might actually hunt up that lace off camera later on. A specific nude colored lace, beige, light brown, that I want for this, that I think will go really well on that one I just made. This is a little tricky when it's just this tiny little guy there. Okay, that's all four. Let's get these off of here. That wasn't straight, but that's okay. It's gonna get rounded. I think it will be fine. It's been a bit since I sat down and filmed. I did a really fun market yesterday. Did pretty well, so I was very pleased with that. And it was also just a very nice, there was music, and the other vendors were super nice. Okay, so I'm just making all my folds. I'm gonna round my corners for my top and bottom. And then do these outside guys as well with those folded in. If you don't fold them in, it's a bit tricky to get these guys rounded because you don't have perfect access to the corner. There. Okay. So let's give this guy some ink too. I made a bunch of little envelopes, the little envelopes with baker's twine. Try to remember to put the link in the description, but they're really beautiful. They're an idea from Margrethe over at Seven Plaza. They're great. They're super fun to make. And as you make them, as you get kind of used to it, you can make a bunch. They're pretty easy to mass make. And I had sold out of those at a market last week of what I had, and they were super popular, so I made a bunch more. Okay, so I'm gluing this guy right here. I made a bunch more last week and brought them along with me, and they were, again, fairly popular. I think I made sets of 3. And I think I sold 4 out of 7 or something of those sets just right away. So that's fun. Maybe I'll put the rest into the Etsy shop. But I don't know, those little projects like that, they do better at craft markets. And they're a pain in the butt to put onto Etsy because it's just a lot of work for every new product that you do. So those are my envelopes. Let's make one from the music paper too, since I had that out here. Scoring at 1/2 inch. And then also at 2 3/4. I'm just kind of thinking simultaneously as I score if I'm okay with that. 6 1/4. I think I am. I think I will like it. Now this paper is a little bit light. It's not very sturdy. I maybe should have backed it onto something else before doing this because it's going to be very tricky to actually keep together. So if you're using a paper like this for something like this, let me caution that it might be better. In retrospect, I think with the other one, if I do this with it, I will back it onto something not super, probably like a mid-weight paper like this that I'm using. I don't know what the weight is. I'll try to look it up. I'm gonna make a note for myself and I'll say paperweight, midweight paperweight, and you need the Seven Plaza envelopes and midweight paper. I'll find the paper weight and put those in the description. If I don't make a note, I won't remember. Even if I were to go straight from filming to loading the video, I still might forget. Because that's the way a postmenopausal brain goes, right? I bet most of you know. So notes it is. Notes for everything, pretty much. There. Ooh, this is going to be nice. It is, I can feel though, it's very flimsy, right? Look, just the score broke right through it. So let me say that with this, definitely back it onto something. And actually, here, genius. This is fantastic. Remember this guy? I didn't print a back on him. Oh, it's almost as if I planned it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna glue these two to each other. My second sheet of music paper is going to become my inside. Now it's a little sad because I'm gonna lose, you won't see it all, so you really don't need, I did want this to be the outside, but that's okay. If you're gonna do it on the outside, make sure you back it onto some kind of paper like this that's a little bit more sturdy. Will fold without ripping. So I'm just gonna give that a nice run all the way on there so that it is stuck everywhere. And that, wow, look at it. It really is almost like I planned it. I didn't, I promise. I've got music notes on the front of this paper too, so that is gonna work beautifully. So let us score it. At a 1/2 inch either side. I might have to give it a sec. I'm gonna have to trim too. It's a little bit bigger on the one. 2 and then turn, and 2 3/4, and 6 1/4 for our envelope shape. Using our cutter. We've got just a hair showing here, and this is the top, so that will show. So I'm just gonna trim a tiny bit off there, and I'm gonna use my scissors on this side because I went a tiny little bit there. Try to be straight with it. Okay, very good. Yes, now we're cutting these off anyway. Let's use our cutter for that so we can get straight. And now we shouldn't have to worry about our pieces falling off of here. Oops, I went a little too far on that one. This guy. All right, let's take these off. All of our corners go bye-bye. I love it when there are serendipitous creative moments like that. A couple things come together just as they should. Does make the envelope a little bit thicker, which could be an advantage. It is also an extra step that makes it take a wee bit longer. I got a little bit too far with that edge there, so I'm not gonna have a perfect corner. Top and bottom. Ooh, and I left a little bit of my score marks on that guy on the top. This corner rounder is not the best one that I have for this either. I would normally use my flat one. This guy seems like he's a little bit long. So I'm gonna just take a little bit more off here because It's not wanting to quite fold exactly right. It's on the bottom though, so it's not gonna really be seen. Whew. Super cute. That's really fun. Okay, let's glue. I probably should have put it the other way around so I would get more of my music showing, but I like it. I'm not gonna ink this one because it's time to be done with making structures. I love it. That's it, you guys. That's all there is to it. Beautiful handmade envelopes. Great way to use 8.5 by 11s or even 12 by 12s. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. And I will see you in the next video.